So here is a little peek into one of my cultivations. All of those organisms you can see at the surface are crustaceans breeding. They're mostly from the family Cyclopidae. The arrow is pointing to them. They're all at the surface of the water. They used to be down beneath the water, but they came up. And here is what I caught from that. This is what those look like under the microscope. This is a type of gamarid, which is called a gamarus. It's from the genus Gamarus. It will be hard to get the species, as there are more than 200 of them in just the species Gamarus, over 200 species, which is quite rare for a genus. But I once misidentified a gamarid for a different gamarid for a Gamarus. I don't know what it was, but it was the one from the video called Eucyrus holmi. That also wasn't Eucyrus holmi. It was another misidentification. You can see it moving around. But I was pretty excited to finally find one of these gamaruses. They live in both fresh and salt water. They rarely live in salt water, though. They mostly just live in things like runoffs from rivers and small bays and sounds, like the Puget Sound, for example. But most of them aren't located there. But I found this in a pond with stagnant water, so it was able to breed there quite well. Here's what it looks like in bright field. You get some different contrasting, and here it is again with the 4 times objective now. Here it is with the 40 times objective, so you can see the details of the eyes. Those are its hairs. They help it grab onto things. They act sort of like bristles on an annelid. And here is a very small cyclops that it was, I think it probably just got out of the Nepulus state, so it's now in its adult state, but not exactly yet, because this is an adult cyclops. You can see a bunch of green things which look like the euglenids from the Vorticella infection of a cyclops video. And they are euglenids. They are there for the winter. I learned this from a comment. They are actually calicium. They are a pretty fast euglenoid, but they stay there for the winter and live on these microcrustaceans until it is a time where they can live on their own. I've even seen them on their Nepuli. And thank you to the person who told me that. I learned a lot from that. And all of that white stuff is not Vorticella, which I learned were Epistylis, actually, from the last video. But that's just a bunch of blood cells. The cyclops looks to be crushed by the cover slip. I think that was what happened to it. You can sort of see its eye there. And here is what those calicium actually look like. You can see some of them moving around there. You can see how they stick themselves to those different segments. They stay there for quite a while, and those are all of its different cells. They appear to be blood cells, as cyclopses, they do have blood. And there are those calicium again with the 10 times objective in bright field. So, goodbye. And thank you to the person who told me about these being calicium and the vorticella being epistolis. That was really helpful, and I learned a lot from that. I've been looking into that a lot, so thank you.